Jury duty is a shared American tradition. It connects people across class and race and teaches values of participation, equality, and deliberation. We know that juries are important for courts, but we sometimes forget that jury service is important for democracy. In our courtrooms, we have the opportunity to exercise fundamental American values, regardless of race, class, gender, or any other imaginable difference.
If you want to do something constructive for your community, if you want to start at ground zero and you're not sure where the fabric of the country is going right now, or your state or your city or your politicians, well, one way of dealing with that, I think it's a major way, is if you get someone for jury duty, you're defending the Constitution and you're keeping the democracy going in your own little way just by doing that.
In a criminal case, trial by jury places 12 citizens between the power of the government and the rights of the accused. In a civil or non-criminal case, the jury represents the community's conscience and common sense in resolving disputes. Apart from voting, no part of our democracy is so active and participatory in nature. In the jury room, we are all one and on equal footing. Each voice carries the same weight. In a city of neighborhoods, cultures, and people as diverse as is in Philadelphia, that fact is perhaps most evident.
Everybody has the same concept of jury duty. Oh no, try to get out of it, try to get out of it. Say you're sick, say you got a child that's sick, whatever, to try to, get excused from it. But I would say take the experience. The last time I came, I wasn't picked. So this time I came and I was picked, and it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was fine. What was positive for me, you met different people, from different races, different creeds, and it's a networking situation because you never know who you're going to come in contact with, and you get to learn, about your city and different aspects of life. So it was a pleasurable experience for me.
Now that you've arrived for jury service, it may help to know what happens behind the scenes as you wait to be summoned to a courtroom. In Philadelphia, our courts schedule over 2,000 jury trials in a given year. So, before panels are assembled, judges, court staff, and attorneys are working to clear the dockets, determine which cases will be tried, and preparing the room to accommodate those of you who will be impaneled and questioned by a judge or court personnel. Please feel free to read a book, newspaper, or magazine. Take advantage of the free Wi-Fi in our court waiting areas.
But how many of you been here before and you left early and you were surprised? Raise your hand. Okay. Today's not that day. Well, let me just say right now is not that day.
Being a citizen, and then being an American, I know a lot of countries don't have this right to serve on a jury, and I feel though I have the responsibility to help make that decision to give a person a fair trial.
The fact that you serve on a jury, you become a part of a system that you can make better by being a good juror.
At some point during the morning, you'll be escorted to a courtroom to answer some very basic questions from a judge or court personnel. These questions are important. They help the court and attorneys determine which jurors can be fair and impartial in a particular case.
I watch TV, Law and Order, every day of the week. So, I thought I knew, but I didn't. It's much different when you're actually sitting in the courtroom. So I think everybody should have that experience at least once in your life.
I have had years of hearing about the experience of other jurors, but it's not the same.
All rise. Oh yay, oh yay, oh yay. All persons who stand bound by recognizance or otherwise.
Jurors are selected by the attorneys who are trying the case. Once an appropriate number of jurors has been selected, the trial will begin.
Serving on a jury is one of the fundamental constitutional powers that remains in the hands of the people. and not in the hands of the government.
The beginning of a trial consists of opening statements and the presentation of evidence by the Commonwealth or plaintiff's attorney. In civil cases and in many criminal cases, the presentation of evidence by a defense attorney comes next before the trial culminates with closing arguments made by both sides.
If you were to put yourself in the position of somebody who's been accused of a crime, rightly or wrongly, you would certainly want what you were entitled to, what you were guaranteed.
I was very pleasantly surprised by my fellow jurors. They were intelligent and engaged. They were willing to listen to one another. They were willing to think about the case very carefully. Because we didn't work from written materials or have anything to review except our own notes, you do depend on your other jurors.
Following closing arguments, the judge will explain to you how the deliberations process will work and the points of law that you should consider while weighing the evidence that you have been presented. When the jury deliberates, you will discuss the evidence with your fellow jurors and consider how it relates to the burden of proof before rendering a decision. You will also choose a foreperson who will guide you through deliberations, deliver any juror questions to the court crier, and read the jury's verdict once it has been determined.
Being in that situation and deliberating and getting that experience was a very, very valuable experience. I was able to feel emotionally and feel compelled to do the right thing, but again, we followed the evidence. But I also felt that my time was valuable serving on that jury.
It was a great feeling to come to a consensus together with a group of people who I had just met a day before and work together to get that solution. That was a really good feeling.
We all went around the room. That was great because I was able to listen to everybody, and form my own judgment based off of my own judgment, and listening to everyone at the same time.
As a lifelong resident in Philadelphia, it did make me feel good, not only because I'm also sitting on a jury of someone else who's a member of the city of Philadelphia, but to just be a part of the process, especially when you get to read and see what happens with crimes and what happens with, the process of hearing it on the news about verdicts and juries, but getting to experience that and see that, especially because it's not very frequently, was a very, very good experience for me.
It's the one thing that we can do to be a part of the justice system. And so if we don't do it, who do we leave it to?
By serving here today, you advance the cause of justice by hearing the evidence and reaching a verdict in either a criminal or civil case, or standing ready to do so. Each of you is crucial to the justice we seek to provide here in the 1st Judicial District of Pennsylvania. On behalf of the judiciary, the attorneys, and everyone involved, we thank you for your service.
Thank you for doing your part. Gracias por su servicio.
We appreciate you.
Thank you for your service.
Spasiba.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.